Board. Okay, so this question, a couple people have emailed me about it today. This is question number 7 in section 1.4, and they're telling me this formula that tells me the number of bacteria can be found based on the temperature of the food, and the range is only valid, the domain for this function is only valid between 3 degrees and 33 degrees. They don't tell me the units, but that's okay. So they want me to write and then they tell me then the temperature is based on the number of hours that's been left. It's been left out of the refrigerator, and that's defined by this function. So they want us to write the composite function that will find the number of bacteria based on the elapsed time. So we're gonna here. Let me get a pointer going here. So we're going to replace t in this function with that function's values. And one person that emailed me did a beautiful job expanding everything out. But to keep MyOpenMath happy, to keep Dan LeMay happy, all you're really going to do is do the nesting. So you see what I did is I just replaced the capital T with the function for the time, and then it took it. Then how did I get this answer? Well, it says find the time when the bacteria count reaches 14,966. Do you see that's why? That is that why. So what I did was, here, let me see if I can't find, here, let me stop this share. I'll pull up my work here. And actually, I'll pause the meeting here for a minute. Oh. Recording. Let's pause recording. Okay, so this is my work. I set that formula, the number of bacteria based on the time. No, number of bacteria based on the temperature formula. So there's the temperature base, and that's the number of bacteria. I set those equal, and then because this is a quadratic equation, we set it equal to 0, and then we try to factor it, but that was awful to factor, so I didn't even try. Now you could set up the quadratic formula. That wouldn't be wrong, but it gets messy. This is a pre-calculus class. I know I'm going to get real answers. I'm not going to have to worry about complex answers, you know, the imaginary number answers. So I just use this polynomial solver. You know, there's many out there you can use. So it just usually just prompts you for what's the A coefficient, what's the B coefficient, what's the C coefficient, and it gave me these two answers. Now these are temperatures. I'm not going to have a negative 24 degrees because for one thing, the domain of this function was between t was 3 and 33, so the negative 24 is out. So that's that equation. So now I want to find how much elapsed time until it reaches that temperature. So I took that temperature formula, I replaced the t with, here, let me get a pointer going there. You can probably see my mouse. Let's see, spotlight. So I replaced that t with that answer, and then I subtracted 1.6, I divided by 5, and I entered that in. And of course, if I come back to, why is this doing this today? And just a minute here, I'm gonna stop the share. Let me come back to the MyOpenMath. Here we go, and we'll come back. I share. Okay, can you see that now? So that's the time I typed. Now notice one thing you're going to find about MyOpenMath is that when it says at least 2 decimal places, you're better off putting in more. In fact, sometimes if they'll even say, if it's say round to 2 decimal places, you're better off putting in more. Once in a while, it'll mark you off if you don't. But see, so I did get that right. So that's how you tackle this problem. Hope that helps.